Social Security, including retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, and RRB. This is pretty insulting. In this video, I want to share with you a new report that I just got done reading that I found to be a little bit insulting. So let's get into it and discuss all the details. However, really quickly before we do, let me ask you a really basic question. Do you believe that all the millions upon millions of beneficiaries that I mentioned at the beginning of this video are living on a fixed income benefit, or do you believe that these benefits are not fixed income benefits? Now, if you would like, you can leave a comment down below, or I can just answer the question for all of us, because I think all of us are probably feeling the exact same way. Yes, of course these are fixed income benefits, right? So I think all of us are on the same page with this. I think we can all probably agree that yes, by all means, these are fixed income benefits. However, I want to share with you this new report that I just got done reading and the conversation that took place within this report and what they're now saying about all these benefits. So let's get into it and discuss what's going on. However, really quickly before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and so I can keep you updated each and every day with everything going on right now, as I am your one and only daily advocate, and I am very much dedicated to you and this community to continue doing all this research, breaking it all down into these short videos, and delivering them to you a few times throughout the day so you can stay updated with what is actually going on, especially during this busy time as things are changing rapidly and as we continue to get all these new reports on these fixed income benefits, money, benefits, programs, reform to these very important benefits, as well as packages, proposals, new bills, piece of legislation. There's a lot going on right now in conjunction with all the announcements coming out of the administration, the president, lawmakers, Congress as a whole. There's a lot going on right now, right? So anyway, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and I'll continue to be here for you right by your side every single day, bringing you these updates and talking you through what is going on and bringing out all the details that you need to know right now. So again, thanks so much. Subscribe down below, and let's get into it and discuss this new report and what this conversation was saying as it was taking place throughout this report. All right, so it was actually kind of an interesting report. So apparently within this report, it was actually a conversation between two different reporters. So here's how the conversation went and this report and how it was actually all laid out. So apparently these two reporters were confronting each other and they were talking about fixed income benefits, all the benefits that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Well, one reporter walked up to the other. Apparently, this is what was talked about in this report that I was reading. Apparently, one reporter said to the other, "Wow, this must be a really tough time right now for fixed income beneficiaries because of all this rapidly rising inflation." And the other reporter said to the other one, what do you mean? It's not a fixed income benefit. They get a raise every year to keep up with the annual cost of living. It's not a fixed income benefit. I don't know what you're talking about. They get a raise every single year. Therefore, it's not a fixed income benefit. Okay. Sure, good way to twist the rules around a little bit, but I guess everybody has their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, fine. But I think clearly this person is not living on these benefits because they don't have a clue what is actually going on in the real world. Yes, it is true that a raise does come each year as a result of the annual cost of living adjustment, but there are some years where we don't get a raise to benefits. However, the article actually goes on and discusses a few different pillars that I want to talk about in this video because it's actually very important to understand, and this actually does play a very important role in what's actually going on right now and how this all translates into higher benefits for beneficiaries. So if you felt a little bit bothered by what was said in that article, don't worry, you're not alone. I'm feeling the same way, right? This person obviously just needs to be educated a little bit more, and I mean, at the same time, yes, I guess they are right that yes, benefits are raised a little bit each year because of the annual raise. But the fact of the matter is, these are fixed income benefits. If you don't believe me, call up the Social Security Administration and say, hey, yo, Social Security agent, give me a raise. I'm having a hard time right now. Do you want to jack up my benefits? I'm looking for about a 6 or 10% raise. Do you want to issue that immediately? They're going to laugh at you and say, sorry, that's not how it works here. We give one annual raise. That's it. So again, if you were working a job, for example, somebody that's working a job, you know, a 9-to-5 grind, something like that, you can walk into your boss's office and say, hey, yo, boss man, give me a raise or I'm out of here. What's he going to do? he's probably going to give you a raise of some kind, right? So the fact of the matter is, you can negotiate that. You cannot negotiate Social Security. You cannot call them and say, please give me a raise. They'll say, sorry, take a hike. You can't get a raise here, right? They will not do that. It does not work that way. So by all means, these are fixed income benefits. So anyway, let's talk through the details because there are some very important points that actually were suggested in this report that I do want to bring to your attention as well. So number one, the annual cost of living adjustment is actually lagging. So let me tell you the details about this and I'll give you a quick example as well. So here's what happens. The annual cost of living adjustment, for example, the raise that all of us are going to get as of January 2023 is going to be a pretty big raise. However, it's going to be very lagging. The information is going to be very lagging. Here's what happens. The annual cost of living adjustment is calculated from the inflation data from July, August, and September, otherwise known as Q3, quarter three throughout the year, right? It encompasses these 3 months, July, August, and September. What they do is they take the inflation data from these 3 months, Q3 2022, and they compare it to the inflation out of the same quarter, Q3, July, August, and September of 2021, last year. So they compare the inflation between these 2 years, and that's how they actually determine how much the annual cost of living adjustment is going to be. Well, then in a few months from now, in early January 2023, they will implement that. So that is like the most lagging information in the possible world that's going on, right? So the raise that everybody's going to be getting for the annual cost of living adjustment is really, really delayed information, right? It is inflation from 2022 compared over inflation from 2021, and then they apply the raise in 2023. That's very lagging, right? I think we can all agree. Now, let me give you a quick example, just in case you don't believe me, or just in case, well, first off, I think that all of you believe me on this because we're all in the same boat here. But the fact of the matter is, let me just give you a quick example just to kind of hammer this one really home. Let's deal with the situation that we're dealing with right now. Inflation is over 9%. How much was your raise this year in 2022? 5.9%. So the raise that we got in 2022 is more than 3% below where it really should be right now to actually keep up with real inflation that we're dealing with at this current moment, right? So this is a perfect real-life example that we're all experiencing right now, where we got a 5.9% raise that was calculated from the inflation of 2021 over 2020, and we got it in 2022, right? 5.9%. Well, guess what? Real inflation right now is well over 9%. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense at all, right? So you can see here my example. And again, I know that all of you understand this stuff because you're living it. You're experiencing it right here. Real inflation is very different than what the annual cost of living adjustment actually is, right? All right, so that's pillar number one that I wanted to point out. Next, let's talk about the calculation method in which that they use to calculate the annual cost of living adjustment. So we've discussed this in previous videos, but let me throw it out there really quickly because this is another one of the pillars that was in this article that I actually thought was worth talking about. So the way that they calculate the annual cost of living adjustment is by using the CPIW, which stands for Consumer Price Index for Urban Wage Earners and Clerical Workers, CPIW. However, what they want to do, and some lawmakers are actually currently working on this, is they want to change the way that the annual cost of living adjustment is calculated from the CPIW to the CPIE, Consumer Price Index for the Elderly, which better reflects the actual living expenses for those people living on a fixed income benefit. So this would actually better reflect the actual living expenses and actual real inflation that impacts people living on a fixed income benefit. All right, well, we do know that lawmakers are currently working on that. So that's pillar number 2. And then pillar number 3, the dreaded Medicare Part B premium. Wah, wah. You know what I mean? I mean, seriously, who wants to get excited talking about the Medicare Part B premium? Nobody, because it's a bummer. Every single time that they come out with the annual cost of living adjustment, sure enough, about 2 or 3 weeks later, the CMS, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, comes out and says, hey, remember that raise that Social Security announced about, 3 weeks ago? Guess what? It's all ours, right? I mean, we all understand this, right? Every single year comes in the same old song and dance. We all get so sick of it. So anyway, this is also something that's going on too as well, is that the Medicare Part B premium comes in and sucks away the vast majority of the annual cost of living adjustment. However, in 2023, there may be an exception to that rule. However, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to hold my breath on that one because we know how this always works, right? Somehow, some way, shape or form, it seems like this system always turns on us and they always say, oh, just kidding, for this reason and that reason, we're going to raise it again by this percentage point, right? So again, I'm not going to hold my breath on that one, but in 2023, it might actually be a little bit better than what it has been previously. So anyway, when it comes down to it, yes, at the end of the day, fixed income beneficiaries and all the benefits I mentioned at the beginning of the video, yes, by all means, do get adjusted a little bit each year. Most years, I should say. There are some years that we do not get a raise at all. The vast majority of the raises are actually pretty pathetic. They're about 1%, 0.3%, 0.6%, something really teeny tiny minor that almost does nothing to our benefit. However, this year in 2022, we did get, a pretty substantial raise considering relative to other years. But to be totally fair, yes, fixed income benefits and all these beneficiaries do get an annual raise. But by no means can we come out and say that, yes, all of these beneficiaries are living on, a benefit that is not fixed. No, by all means, this is a fixed benefit. It is a fixed benefit, and occasionally each year we do get a little bit of a raise to the benefit as a result of inflation that helps us keep up maybe a teeny tiny bit with inflation, but realistically it is so lagging that by the time we actually get the raise, inflation is significantly higher, just like what we're dealing with right now in 2022. So anyway, as I read through this article, again, I always like to read both sides of the story. I always like to take both sides just because I want to keep a simple mind and I want to keep kind of like a non-biased approach with all this information that I'm reading about, right? But at the same time, sometimes I come across articles like this one that rub me a little bit the wrong way. Let's be real right now. I think unless somebody's really living in the shoes of a fixed income beneficiary, living on, especially somebody with an income under about, say, $1,200 a month, $1,000 a month, anything less than that, they truly don't get it. So even many of us here in the community have talked about it. Lawmakers, they should try to live on $1,000 a month sometime. There's no way. They would never, ever do it. Never in a million years would they even try to do that. In fact, some of the lawmakers that are out there right now are trying to get raises, which, by the way, lawmakers make anywhere between about $174,000 up to a little over $200,000 a year. And they're asking for more. They're asking for more raises out of taxpayer dollars so that they can live and raise a family. Are you kidding me? I mean, seriously. And they're expecting people to live on $841 a month, $900 a month, $1,000 a month. Give me a break. I mean, seriously, right? So anyway, I hope this video helps you out to some capacity. Again, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. I like to read all this information. I try to take both sides of this. I try to keep a level mind with all this stuff simply because I want to bring you the most non-biased information in these videos. Again, sometimes it's easy to lean to one side or the other, but the fact of the matter is, no matter what happens, I'm here for you, and I will not take sides, but sometimes I do like to bash on either side or the other just because, that's the fact of the matter. We have to do this every so often, but no matter what, I will be here for you, right by your side in any way that I possibly can be, to keep you updated and to let you know what is actually going on and to keep you updated with all of these changes as they continue to hit the wire. So again, please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out some of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. And of course, if you come across the right video, make sure to leave those comments down below, as we got still a bunch of things that are going out to a lot of people every single day. You'll know if you hit one of those videos. Pay attention to those and leave your comments down below so I can draw one of your names and get you out some pretty cool stuff. Anyway, enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you again later in the next video.